Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the news.
Yeah.
Oh boy, have we got stories for you. The 12-volt world is just blazing with fun and excitement. But before we get to that, the weather. What's the weather like this morning, Fernando?
Right now on the Clean Wire, Florida. I say Clean Wire, Florida. It's a 66. Beautiful. Wow, it's really beautiful. 66. The high is gonna be 80, and the low on night is gonna be another 60. Ooh, man, that's
it was nice this morning. I mean, like I said, when I lift up the garage in that cool air, I'm like, it gives me that glimmer of hope for a really nice day for about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then
pretty much.
Then I just go, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And then I remember it's like, oh yeah, we got a car in the bay. We got to work on that. So.
Oh, so we're not gonna go to the beach and
no, we're not gonna do anything fun today.
Huh.
But we got news, so let's hop right into it. Actually, let's go to that one. Let's hit the right button here.
Right there.
Sorry, guys. Give me a minute to let the cobwebs get kicked off of my head. Pioneer introduces 3 marine amplifiers. Now, if you guys follow the shows on the 5-Star Network, you may have seen these. We introduced these last week on Spotlight on the Facebook show.
Yeah.
But let's dig a little bit deeper into them. Now we can go to the laptop. There are 3 new amplifiers. You have the GM ME300X4C and the 300X1C. They are both 300 watt amps. Those are the 2 black ones there on the left and right. They are both conformal coated, IP6 rated. They come with power plugs. They use like DC straight technology, so it's 75 by 4 at 4 ohms and 2 ohms. Very compact. They're brick amps, so they're only physically about yay big. The Molex plug that comes with them is about what, 12 inches of wire hanging off of it. Not a lot of current draw. Definitely made for your sport utility vehicles.
Yeah.
Or motorcycles or whatever you want to do where you need a small footprint amplifier. And then the one in the middle, the GM ME600X6, is the new 6-channel Class D marine amplifier. That one is not as conformal coated and waterproof as the other 2. It's more of a conventional marine style amplifier. It does have a conformal coated circuit board, but it's not as sealed up as the other 2. It's more or less just the white style amplifier where it's like it'll do well in marine air conditions, but you're not hosing this thing off by any stretch of the imaginations. Fairly decent sized, fairly small footprint. We got them in. We have yet to play with them yet, so I'm kind of anxious to see how this one goes. It is a 6-channel amplifier, which leads me to believe at some point we might actually get this amplifier in the regular line. That would be kind of cool. We'll see how that goes. We'll play with that one a little bit more as we get our hands on it and see what Pioneer has to offer. Because, I mean, let's be honest, at this point, I believe it is like all Pioneer has are speakers and amplifiers. So, you know, if you want to...
if you're looking for speakers and amplifiers,
they got your number, man. If you're looking for a radio, wonk, wonk, wonk. We had an interesting point brought up to us the other day when we had somebody talking to us. We'll leave it at that. No names. Where they said, now, you know, we've been able to supply radios fairly consistently throughout all of this. Not large quantities, but a fairly consistent amount of radios through most of this. And we've been installing that particular brand. And they said, now, do you think that Pioneer, for some reason, hasn't been able to get access to any chips? And we're like, well, I kind of never thought of that. I just assumed, like, no, they got chips. They're just not using their chips for anything to do with aftermarket. All their chips are obviously going to all their OE accounts. And not Old English. They're, you know, because those contracts are worth millions, if not billions.
Billions, right, correct.
And there is penalties for that, as we'll learn later in the show what some of these manufacturers are doing. So you know, when it comes to building some of these factory radios, it's like they're not wasting any chips on us guys.
Well, I mean, you have to get your priorities, right? And if
this
like,
particular manufacturer was like, look, man, we have these priorities we have to meet, and we have these priorities we have to meet.
So it's like, okay, we can get, I'm just gonna say 100 over here, or we can get 1,000 over here. So let's just go with the 1,000.
Either way, you know, do you look at that manufacturer and be like, they have absolutely no love whatsoever for you, the consumer, because they're only concerned with big business.
And right now, I feel that that's what they want. They just want the big business right now. They don't see
what I'm getting at is, how can you have an affinity for this brand that absolutely wants nothing to do with you as a consumer, because they're taking all of their products and saying, I don't care about you, I need to supply these guys over here. So we're not even going to take 10% of these. It's 100% is going to this. It seems like. There again, seems like from the outside. I'm not an insider. I don't know. But I just look at it and go,
I think the basket over there is bigger. That's why you have to put your eggs, man.
But maybe that you got a point. I don't know. I look at it like, man, I wonder what is going on.
Everybody's wondering.
Everybody is wondering. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of companies and wondering, this story I thought was kind of nice. Let's go over here. Alps, Alpine, and JVC Kenwood full year sales. Now this one is kind of like, okay, Kenwood JVC, or JVC, I don't know why I call them that. In my mind they are. JVC Kenwood sales fell slightly to $2.5 billion from $2.7 billion the previous year. So anyone out there that says car stereo is dead, moving on. But profits increased to almost $20 million compared to $9 million the year earlier. Operating profits rose to $45 million from $37 million. So they made less money but made more profit. That's pretty cool. For automotive sector, sales fell from $1.3 billion compared to $1.4 billion last year, but core operating income rose from $34 million to $11 million. That has to do with the amount of cost in shipping, because now moving things around the world has gotten way more expensive. But for the most part, Kenwood is looking at a pretty substantially profitable year. They did pretty good. Alpine, on the other hand, Alpine pointed to a lower automotive sales and slower recovery in Europe as part of for Japan for its lower sales and profit. So their money basically went kapooey. This is where the story gets kind of confusing, because Alpine does some like fuzzy numbers here that don't make a lot of sense.
And that's what I was not like we don't know exactly.
Yeah, sales fell to $6.6 billion compared to $4.7 billion a year ago. The profit loss widened from -$7 million compared to $35 million. Operating income fell to $120 million compared to $245 million. Alps automotive electronics infotainment sector sales fell over 21% to $2.2 billion with an operating loss of $35 million compared to. Basically what it says is Alpine's not doing as good as other companies are doing. And I guess. Alpine as an aftermarket, I don't think does as much business aftermarket as they do OE. They do a lot of original manufacturers equipment, which, as we all know, not only that, but the car audio industry is suffering, which we'll find out here. We're going to talk about. So I guess let's just move into that story.
Yes.
But before we do that, I mean, Kenwood is clearly making all the right moves right now.
Well, I mean, he's putting all his effort into the 12-volt industry.
So I mean, they're basically in sharp contrast to the previous.
And I think it's a smart move. It's like, okay,
build your base.
Big companies, Pioneer, Alpine.
Yes.
I'm going this way.
Yeah.
I'm going this way. And Kenwood, JVC, they're like, have fun, buddy. I'm just going straight. I see.
They're trying.
I see the light.
They're trying to stay true.
Yeah.
One thing that all of this is going to lead to is a lack of innovation. Okay, so what we're going to see moving forward for the next 2 years is a lack of new technology coming into any sector, not just 12 volt. Most of these manufacturers had to put on hold all the updates for new stuff. Some of them aren't. Like, we know certain manufacturers are coming out with new products that were already in the pipeline and almost done. So now it's just a matter of trying to get those things across the finish line because they were already at like the 80 to 90% finished. Right. So it's just a matter of like, we just do that last 10% push. But it has been a pain in the ass. I talked to somebody the other day that has tested one amplifier with 6 different chipsets in it. 6 different chipsets to find out which one is available and which one works the best for their criteria. I was like, wow. So it's almost like the COVID shot where you have 3 different, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and it's like, which one are you going to get? I don't know. Let's try them all and see which one works.
Yeah. I think we're behind, like, the whole world, the whole industry, everything. We're behind. If we're behind 2 years now, probably it's gonna be like 3, 4.
No, they're basically talking like 2 years. That's a good question, Stefan. I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. I mean, let's be honest. If anything, we're figuring out how much of a world economy this is right now, and how, like, no one place is more important than the other. I think that's one of those things that, like, if anything, which I know it won't happen because I have very little hope for mankind as far as that goes, but we're a global economy now, and when one place suffers, we all suffer.
All right.
And
so
it just, I mean, even here in the United States, where, like, we're sitting here and we're going, oh, bring it all home, and it's like, okay, we did bring it home. Chlorine. All right, it's made, and 80% of the chlorine comes from a place that caught on fire. So now we can't get chlorine for our pools. I mean, it's like it's an industry that is here, and we buy most of it here, and it failed.
We can even get gas right now. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think that we have to widen our scope here a little bit. Yeah. But there again, my personal opinion, which doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Let's get back to the news.
Yes.
But hey. Okay. Car makers delete infotainment features due to shortage. I'm not gonna lie, I got super excited about this one. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, does this mean we're gonna get cars with radio deletes? I was excited, and that is not the case. Basically, we've kind of reported on this before, where we talked about manufacturers just deciding to make cars without these things and they sit on lots. But this is interesting. I want to go through the car manufacturers here. Nissan is deleting navigation from thousands of vehicles, and Ram quit offering camera-based mirror as standard in the 1500 pickups. Also, Renault stopped offering an oversized digital screen behind the steering wheel as on one of its crossovers. Nissan is reportedly cutting navigation-supplied vehicles by 1/3. And let's be honest, who needs factory navigation anymore? Just give us something with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, unless that's deleted as well, in which case, who's going to buy your car? This follows Ford's announcement in March that it will build F-150 trucks and Edge SUVs without some infotainment features due to semiconductor shortage. In Ford's case, it's building vehicles and then holds them for a number of weeks until it can get proper modules before shipping the cars to dealerships. So it's not like it's not going to offer the cars with the parts. It's just a matter of they're going to build the cars, let the cars sit for a couple weeks, plug the parts in, ship them. Okay. Why that is funny is because they're still trying to give the client the best option available, whereas other manufacturers are just saying, forget it, we just need to ship these cars. So when buying a car, you might get a feature that you really, you might not get a feature you really wanted, and they're not even going to offer it. And this is the one that I think is, this is the one that kind of even allowed me to keep this story in, because I was like, we've seen enough of this. But also, General Motors that is building some 2021 trucks without the fuel management module due to chip shortage. It is not holding the trucks, but releasing them to dealers without the module, which will lower the fuel economy of those vehicles by 1 mile per gallon. Okay? So basically what they're saying, and I'm sure this product is like maybe $100, $200. Okay, you figure.
That's what you think.
Let's say $1,000. Okay, if you're driving, you know, the 30,000 miles a year, okay, or 15,000 miles. Let's say you drive 15,000 miles a year, and that's 1 gallon per gas. Per, you know, oh my gosh, the amount of money over the course of the ownership of this vehicle for a $200 module, like, what the hell? Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, it should be like, listen, the module's not going to be in there. We'll say the vehicle, we're going to give you, like, come back in, and then we'll reflash the car when we can put the module in.
And I'm pretty sure it has to be something like that.
No, it's not. It says nothing about that. So, I mean, to me, that is like, wow, man, like, you would just, like, screw you guys. You're going to have to buy this thing.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it's... Everyone is affected about this thing.
Yeah, it's I mean, you know, it's like you can't even buy a microwave oven because it's got a D to A converter in it, or some form of a chip that, you know, it's like, damn, man. Yeah. You know, I don't know.
Everybody's waiting on modules. Yeah.
I know. It's ridiculous. You know, I'll be happy when we can talk about something other than that. But in that regard, here we go. Do you have any stories about it?
I got
You got a story? Good, because it was a short week.
No, it was.
But, all right, so let me go back to this. This one is going to get some of you guys excited, and some of you guys are just going to be like, why? But here it is.
Yep.
Metra ships new advanced Civic kit. So, for those of you guys that buy the base model Civics, which, you know, hey, it happens. Metra is shipping the first dash kit for late model Hondas, and this is something that I found out, so I will share it with you. I assumed when people said late model is a shortened version of latest model. I always assume when he says late, that means old because it's late, but no, late means latest model. So latest model, who knew, right? Latest model Honda Civics under the Turbo Touch line, offering a second built-in touchscreen to control the OEM features such as climate control. It also has a wiring harness interface to retain OE Honda Lane Watch, as well as backup cameras and audio steering wheel buttons. The new kit is for 26 to 21 Civic models, excluding the LX.
There you go. That's the key word.
Which I assume that the LX probably has some advanced features that this isn't going to have. Now, what isn't in this article, which I think, by the way, the model number is the 997821B. It has built-in 4.3-inch touchscreen, retain all the features that we'd already said. The kit includes, yep, got that.
So before you go forward, it says 4.3-inch touchscreen. That is going to retain most of the features typically lost when replacing the factory radio. So,
well, there's always that most to be thrown in there because I mean, you know,
and that's what becomes like when before you get the product, go to the website, read all the specifications that it's gonna have and everything, and they tell you, okay, this is gonna retain, this is not gonna retain, and
they already make one for an 04. It's okay.
yes, they do.
This is a Genesis. So yes, it looks like a Mercedes, but it's a Genesis.
There you go. That's the
premium. That was their inspiration for the
also,
car.
the kit has a backlit hard button controls that can be customized with 250 colors. That's a good one right there.
So the thing I look at this kit and I immediately wonder that I think might have gotten left out of this is, does it actually fit a double din? Or is it
like a regular double din?
Does it fit? Because, like, I don't know if, because you see how the kit is designed, and honestly, I don't remember. Like, we've worked on these cars, but I never paid attention to the radio because I just assumed it was something we were never going to deal with. But that looks like either the Pioneer detachable 6-inch screen or like the Alpine, where you have the screen at the top, the single din at the bottom, like a lot of these radios have. Like a lot of these kits are made for those specific Alpine radios. which Alpine doesn't have any to offer anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm curious to see.
All right, so
if this, like, it doesn't really, I didn't go on and look at the instructions for the dash.
So if you are curious like Dean, you can go to the website and they actually have a YouTube installation video.
Do they have one?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
So there, you can go there and they show you right there the installation video. So
did you watch it?
No.
Then you should, okay. So
well, they have it.
Oh.
I'm not saying this is the, I say, we are curious. I'm going to watch it too. So just to see what it's about.
Either way, if you're a Civic owner and you're like, man, I really hate this factory radio, I want to get rid of this. They have a kit now, so I'm assuming at some point we are going to be putting that in, because why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's, you know, I get it. And while we have a moment here to pause, I'd like to thank CE Outlook. CE Outlook is the aggregator that we use in order to come up with this show. They have all the industry news. We, of course, just aggregate what we feel you guys would be interested in, because, hey, you know, you really don't care that Ken Ward got a job at Audison, so, because you don't even know who Ken Ward is. So,
well, some of you guys do.
But if you do care, Ken Ward got a job at Audison, so good on him.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Ken.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
That guy. But we'd like to thank CE Outlook for all of their entertaining news that we allow, that they provide so that we can copy and give to you guys. So cool there. You got a story, Fernando?
Well, now that we talk about Kenwood JVC, you know.
Oh, you got the HUD? Do you have a picture? You got to get the picture.
No, I just got the. I thought you got the picture.
I didn't take the picture.
That was Kenwood JVC.
Hold on, let me.
All right, so let me start talking about JVC Kenwood Corporation of Japan has developed a technology to improve the image on the aftermarket OEM and others heads-up display. What's a heads-up display?
That's why you needed the picture.
No, the heads-up display is where displays the speed and navigation and all the prompts that you have in this top of the line cars. Like for example, your car doesn't have it, right?
My car does not have a HUD.
Some of these cars have, and you guys can see Cadillacs.
So I guess what the problem was is that the HUDs would have reflection.
Well,
because
and they tell you right there.
The glass.
And they tell you they might cause a reflection, like a double image or something like that. The only way to fix it, the C5 Corvette has it exactly. Is to like.
So the reason why I left this story off was because they're not coming out with a HUD that we can like stick on a dash. This is just made to improve cars like this that are more inexpensive. So they've figured out a way to make an inexpensive HUD.
Yep.
The good news is that we'll probably start to see more HUDs in cars.
And that's what they're trying to make the patent. Like they working on that. Apparently they pushing forward on that thing. So
you know, there was a time.
I'm excited.
There was a time when I think there was a manufacturer that did offer a HUD that would mount on your dash. I don't know if it was Kenwood or Pioneer, but they had a cool little box that would just sit up on top of your dash, and you could it was just a piece. It was and to me, I was like, this cannot be safe. You know, this just so much looks like a projectile of death, because it's like. It's a little box about yay big, and it's supposed to like tape on your dash, which we all know that ain't gonna work with a piece of acrylic on it, and it lit up, and it was like, that ain't gonna work. And then there was a couple phone apps where you could set your phone on the dash, and like we know John had one of those, and he had it in his Porsche sitting up on the dash doing that. I'm like, I don't know if I want a HUD that much. I don't really even pay attention to how fast I'm going most of the time. I just kind of go with God and go with that. All right, one last story here. One
last story here. So if you have the Audison Virtuoso, they just released an update for this that you unlock so many features that is really cool. So if you have one of these,
okay, let me back the train up right there. If you're buying a new Virtuoso, then the software is available for you to do.
Correct.
If you play with your Virtuoso and you're a guy that likes to play with theirs, by all means update to the software. If you have a Virtuoso, there is no need to update to this software.
Right.
Because your car will sound the same when you're done.
Yeah.
So don't run off to someone that, I got mine. No, it's not a mandatory update in order to make your car sound better. It's not going to do that. It was made to it's just the latest installation software, so that when you're going to tune the car for the first time, you can now have more functionality to it. So if you've already got one and it's working, leave it alone. But if you're just buying one, or you're a guy that just plays with their stuff constantly, then do the update. A lot of people, there's an update.
Yep.
There's only one reason you do an update. Shit doesn't work anymore.
Correct.
Okay, if everything's working fine, leave it alone.
Let it go.
Let it go. But for those of you that are buying the Virtuoso or think about buying the Virtuoso, this is a pretty substantial upgrade for sure. And they've also had an update for the BitTune.
But not yet.
But that'll be coming, which will be nice.
Like in 2 weeks.
It's just a silence, little switch on the side.
Yeah, I know.
Just like flick it, and it's like magical.
Yeah. So 2 weeks. I'm trying to see where they say that was 2 weeks. A week or two. They gonna have the BitTune.
So
updates.
For those who've never even heard of the BitTune, don't feel bad. BitTune is basically the precursor to like a DSR-1 on steroids. It was a tool that you put in. There's one.
No, over there. No, other side.
Right there.
There you go.
That's one right there. Anyways, it was a precursor to like a DSR-1 that allowed you to had microphones that went in your car. Actually, the only time I've ever seen one used is Soundman when he was tuning his Prima amplifier. He used a BitTune. One of the problems with it and why it never really went crazy is because when it would open up the software, it was like a postcard in the side of your display screen, so it made it very hard to do anything. So supposedly
they
the
upgraded.
big thing that they're upgrading on it is you're now going to get full screen, so it might be something we can actually use.
Yeah.
I'd be excited because we paid $1,600 for that thing, so
yeah.
It would be nice to actually pay for a tool that we've had for almost 8 years and never used.
Yeah. That's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. So, and also the Virtuoso is adding, like I said, there's a bunch of new features. Head over to Audison if it's something you're interested in. That's the big boy DSP, guys. Those are the big boys.
Yeah. So
we made it through the news. You excited?
I'm excited, man.
Yeah?
This is
excited?
so good. Yeah.
All right, guys, that was the news. We hope you enjoyed it. There again, we'd like to thank CE Outlook for giving us, news that we can steal and put up here for you guys to enjoy.
Pretty much.
Last night, we had a great time over on SideJag. If you guys didn't catch that, make sure you go over to the SideJag channel over there on YouTube. We talked about Tenet with Kyle and Hi-Fi Vega. Kyle is Hi-Fi Vega's son. So if any of you are curious what his offspring might look like, make sure you head over and check it out. And for those of you who don't know, he's like 6'3". So when you're looking at this kid, he's 6'3". And then, of course, we did Reverse Polarity before that, where we had a wonderful conversation about so it was just going to be a show, but we're turning it into a series.
Okay.
Things that you need to be in order to be an installer. So some of the tasks that is expected of you to be an installer. So we started on one of the tasks, and I think we're just going to kind of do a multi-week thing where we just kind of break it apart. And
what do you need to
deep.
be? What do you need to have to be an installer?
Yeah, no, just the skill set. So like last night we talked about being a carpenter.
To be an installer?
Yeah, the basic background of. So basically, what we're gonna get, what we're working to is all the things you need to know in order to be an installer to make not as much money as the people at McDonald's are gonna make.
Okay.
So
I don't know, man.
It's an argument for making French fries.
Okay.
The 3 P's, baby. It's all about the 3 P's. Bobby, you be safe. And with that, guys,
drive safe, man.
You have a wonderful day. Make sure tomorrow you check out the Saturday show over on the 5 Star Network.
That's right.
Be answering your questions and having just a wonderful time. It's at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing all kinds of fun there. And make sure you head over to Instagram and check out 5 Star Car Stereo on that, where we do the daily 5 minutes with 5 Star, which is neither 5 minutes. It's never 5 minutes, although we do try sometimes to make it 5 minutes.
No.
You guys have a great Friday. Enjoy your day. See ya.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.